It's just been about 24 hours since the decision came down from the Army Corps, and many people are leaving, as you can see with this line of cars behind me, but plenty of people are still coming into the camps. As we heard from some people, they plan to stick it out despite the weather. Make sure you're driving for the conditions, slowing down these side highways right here. I'm off of the interstate right now, and as you can see behind me, it's still covered with snow. Not only was this upsetting for the people that drove by, but for those who raised horses here around White Earth. They tell us they take great pride in their animals and that this is not a reflection of how they treat their horses. Increased security and tension, both were high for the court appearance of Paul Miller. Good afternoon, Lisa. What we know is the police are still searching for this suspect that entered the bank, demanded money, and then fled on foot. Police say no weapon was shown or mention of a weapon, but they are still investigating. If you qualify for a class action lawsuit, you'll get a card like this in the mail. It basically tells you what to do and how to be a part of it. But you're going to want to read it carefully because scammers will sometimes send them as well. Cleanup of the mess began this morning. Fargo police say if you're a homeowner or even a business owner, make sure your doors are locked and hardened. What I can tell you right now is they are tearing this building down to its studs. If you look behind me, you can see fire. Peterson says it was the second vandalism incident that happened in less than 2 weeks. And he wasn't going to let the vandals win. So he decided to put up 50 more signs in support of Gary Johnson. The sounds of celebration can be heard behind me at one of the protest camps with the decision that came out today.
I tell you, you talk about a bomb being dropped on us all today. Nobody saw that coming.
Sheriff Laney says they had just pulled back when the ruling came out.
We'd all been asking for a decision. The decision's been made. Whether people are happy about it, whether they're upset about it, really is irrelevant to me as a law enforcement officer. What I want is de-escalation, and what we all want here is Morton County to go back to normal and ultimately all of our lives to go back to normal.
We find ourselves being able to de-escalate, and that would mean that the protesters would, essentially need to go home and remove themselves from the area. And with that ruling coming out, I foresee that happening.
The decision was a surprise to both sides. Protesters could be heard cheering. Sheriff Laney says the line of cars stretched to get into the camp was the longest he has seen. The Standing Rock tribal leader said in a statement they look forward to returning home and spending the winter with their families.
And we look forward to the day when I could point my people east and say, let's go back to the county where people want us, need us, and where we want to be. With this decision, many people hope that law enforcement and protesters will soon be going home. Sheriff Laney says he hopes that he can return to Cass County within the week. Near Cannonball, North Dakota, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live. While the Becker County attorney is still reviewing the cases of alleged animal abuse against Michael Dahl, many people we spoke to say that he deserves those charges and needs to be held accountable.
Make people aware of what happened and hopefully hold them responsible.
Bloom said he didn't fully believe what he saw on his way to work Thursday. He noticed 3 dead horses on the side of Becker County Road 143.
So I turned around, drove by, seen them just to double check what I saw. Well, they were 3 horses. They did look pretty bad. They looked like they had been starving for at least 3 months.
Others nearby say 2 of the horses had owners who paid Dahl to take care of them. One of the horses was allegedly a descendant from a Triple Crown winner. Bloom says the animal's bones were showing, and he posted the pictures to social media.
After I rode by there and seen them firsthand, I kind of got angry about it.
The property owner says Dahl was renting the house and land. The landowner was told to put the carcasses on the side of the road for a disposal company to be picked up on Wednesday, but they did not pick them up until Thursday. The owner added he hasn't seen Dahl in a while and told him last fall to put the horses in another grass-field pasture.
I don't think they were properly taken care of, no. I mean, I know he had the funds available to him, which he didn't use.
Not only was this upsetting for the people that drove by, but for those who raised horses here around White Earth. They tell us they take great pride in their animals and that this is not a reflection of how they treat their horses. In northern Becker County, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
Well, I took videos of all the light bulbs. I had looks like they're all on to me.
Joe Berquist says he documented how his son Logan left the apartment he rented. He says they cleaned it for hours and was surprised when he only got $509 back of the $1,000 deposit.
Paint throughout doesn't match. Or we're renting an apartment for 9 months, so the paint throughout doesn't match. What's that got to do with anybody renting an apartment? You know, just silly things like that. Said a light bulb was out, so they charged us like $20 for a light bulb.
Berquist provided us with a move-out charge list. It showed a list of charges for $365 and a ledger balance of $129. But it did not detail what the charges were for. He says the company told him part of it was for fixing a dryer and late rent.
Well, I get the work order back, and the work order is for an apartment different from the apartment that we rented.
The work order is for 1021 16th Street North, Apartment B. But Berquist's son lived in 1017 16th Street North, Apartment B. We tried to find the 1021 address, but it doesn't exist.
In the first email, I said, you must have us mixed up with a different apartment.
Berquist says the boys started renting the unit from RKAK Property Management. However, management of the property was soon taken over by Coldwell Banker Property Management. Coldwell Banker Property Management then changed names to CBP Management. Confused? So was Berquist.
And I don't know why they keep changing names as well. But if it happening to my son and his friends in one unit, if they multiplied keeping half of the $1,000 deposits across the board for the rest of the students, how much extra money can they make?
Now, this is a messy situation, and we don't know if Berquist's son will ever get his money back. But according to Wisebread, a financial advice website, they suggest Googling a lease company prior to moving in, taking pictures of every room and keeping your check-in list when moving into an apartment, and taking photos or video when moving out of the unit. If you would like to see a full list of tips on getting your security deposit back, click on this story on valleynewslive.com.